So here we are, fresh off of finishing the show. The show finished probably about 5 minutes ago when I'm recording this. So this is my straight up, adrenaline-fueled, passionate takes, you know? There's something different when you have to wait a few days to review something, but watching it and reviewing it 2 minutes after it's just finished live, that's something different. That is something different. Hello and welcome to FCTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about Progress Wrestling Chapter 174 Vendetta number 2, the second installment of the Vendetta shows that Progress do once a year, and this was, to put it lightly, this was a bloody barn burner. This was a bloody great show from top to bottom. I really think that Progress have nailed not only the pacing, but the structure of their shows. They go by like that. They are an absolute breeze to get through, and from top to bottom here, I thought the action was awesome. Really, really awesome, with 2 potential match of the year contenders. I feel like that is just a Progress staple at the moment, is just, we're just going to have a show with 2 match of the year contenders on it, because they had one at Stay Young and Invincible, and now they have some here as well. So it's very difficult when it comes to the year-end list. But before we dive into my full review, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below, and I'll try and reply to every single one of them. As we dive into this, something else I do want to address, Full Gear was, of course, tonight, last night, whenever it was. It was last night, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I will probably be watching that maybe Tuesday, so my review will be very late. It will be on Wednesday, but please check it out, because I would watch it on Monday, but I will be somewhere defying gravity probably on Monday. Hint, hint, I'm going to be watching Wicked because it looks awesome. So, yeah, Full Gear review will be incoming at some point, but Progress put on a banger of a show. This was really, really awesome. I loved a lot of the matches on this card, particularly the main event, technically the 2 main events, the main event for each half, Trent Seven versus Ricky Knight Jr. and Luke Jacobs versus Leon Slater. They were absolute bangers, but I actually think there's some sleeper hits in here that were really, really good. Emerson Jane versus Lana Austin, I thought was awesome. The opening match between Ethan Allen and man like Doris, I thought was also really, really good. Subculture versus Sanity, I thought was really good. And what I liked about this show is it felt like a bookend. It felt like the end of a chapter, because Vendetta is happening now, and then we have Unboxing, in which the gimmick of that show is you don't know any matches ahead of time. There was no sort of big setup angles, no surprise returns or anything like that. This felt like almost the end of a chapter, and we're going to get the rest of the story come probably end of January or towards March when they do their show in Manchester. So yeah, I really liked it in that regard. I really liked that it felt like it closed a lot. It felt like a good ending for a lot of stories, but also left room open for more. And I think that was a really, really nice way to go about it. So shall we dive into the full show? This will be my full thoughts on every match, every angle, everything that happened. And yeah, let's dive into it with our host, Jerry Bakewell, who is awesome as usual. And then we had the opening match, which was Ethan Allen versus man like Doris. This was really, really good. This was playing off everything that's happened between these pair in the past 2 months, starting with Ethan Allen, costing Doris the Progress World title, and then having that banger of a tag match in Manchester. And yeah, they just went full, they just went for each other in this. This was like, nothing was held back. I really love that Ethan Allen is just a pure grappler, and he was tangling up man like Doris in these holds, hitting some gnarly looking elbows on Doris, and we had our first near count out spot of the night. That would be my only one criticism. There were a lot of near count out spots on this show, but this one I thought was effective because it led to the ultimate finish, which was after these two destroyed each other. You had really cool flashy sequences with man like Doris hitting his springboard cutter from out of nowhere. These two just started brawling into the crowd, and then to much shock, it went to a double count out. both men were counted out and the contest was sort of wrote off. And you have the red shirts come in, they're brawling, they're trying to keep these two separate. There was a really cool shot of just a load of security holding down Ethan Allen because these two just want to go after each other. And then they're both separated. Ethan Allen's in the ring and he clocks a security, just absolutely clocks him, and then starts going after the same security guard while Therese is on the outside. I thought this was an awesome angle. I think Progress are one of the few companies that can make a double count out work. I think the two, I can't remember, there was another time they did a double count out and I thought it was really effective. This was also really effective. It was smart to have it open the show, and I don't think anyone was disappointed by this because it fuels, if anything, it fuels anything going into the main event, and I think it worked tremendously well in this match. And yeah, this was a really awesome way to open the show. Next up, we had probably my biggest surprise of the night, and that was Emerson Jane taking on Lana Austin. Lana Austin comes out, she's got a new video package. She doesn't have the theme tune, unfortunately, because that is an awesome theme tune. Put your money where your mouth is. No, she comes out to Simply the Best, which fits so well, is all I can say. It fits the character of Lana Austin so unbelievably well. And this match was really, really good. I was expecting this, with it being Lana Austin's first match back in a while, with her handing out the golden ticket. I was expecting this to be not necessarily a squash, but one that re-establishes Lana Austin in the grand scheme of the women's division. But this was almost a spotlight to make Emerson Jane look amazing. And Emerson Jane looked amazing, like she always does in all her matches. She's absolutely terrific, but this was just fast-paced, brutal at times, funny, and had a shocking outcome. So you had it being a back and forth match between Jane and Austin, and then sort of Lana Austin gets in control. She starts being more egotistical. She tries to go for like the Lana Oki. I can't say that, Lana Oki. I think that's it. She goes into the crowd and she sort of squares up with someone. Now, I'm not aware of who this person was until they started saying it on commentary, and I vaguely know the name, but it was Rain Leverkusen. I goddamn hope I pronounced that right, because I could have butchered that, and I'm so sorry. And sort of squares up to her. And I was like, this is an interesting way to go about it. Then we get back in the ring. Then you have a bit more of the match. And Emerson Jane picks up the win. She picks up the win over Lana Austin in Lana Austin's first match back. And I was like, I sort of sat back and I was like, you know what? They should do more of that. I don't see why. Like, usually when people come back or people come into a new company, they come in and they immediately get a big win. Lana Austin losing fuels her character so well, makes Emerson Jane look awesome, and sets up a feud with Rain going forward. Like, this was really awesome stuff, and I think the match was absolutely tremendous. It was one of my favourite matches on the show. Like, this was really, it feels weird to say inspired, but it was really inspired stuff, because I want to see more companies do that. You can have a big star lose. I don't think it loses anything, particularly when it fits their character, and it does fit Lana Austin's character. This was an absolute win in my books, and genuinely one of my favourite things on the show. I actually think this show will probably go down as a show that has some of the best finishes, like, of the year, because I think top to bottom, a lot of the finishes on this show were awesome. And the finish to this match, the PROTEUS Championship Fatal 4-Way, as Will Cruz took on G-Money, took on Session Moth Martina, took on the champion Simon Miller. This was everything I wanted it to be. As soon as Simon announced that he was doing the 4-way match, I think everyone was like, that's a bit silly, because now you've put yourself at a 3-on-1 disadvantage. And he addressed that. He came out, he had Puppet Simon, and then he goes straight into it, and immediately you have, like, the G-Money family getting the advantage, because it is 3-on-1, and it turns into a 3-on-1 handicap. And I think I like the way this was done. This was done very effectively because they're just bickering. They're just funny. Like the banter that Session Moth and Gene have with each other and with Will, that's just all funny. And then the hope spots that Simon Miller got were really, really awesome and led to a beautiful, beautiful bit of like storytelling when Simon hits a huge like power slam on Session Moth and Will Cruz accidentally hits us with a splash. That got one of the biggest reactions of the night, and from there you had them getting the upper hand again, hitting Miller with everything they've got. Gene and Will hit Simon with a cannonball, but Will Cruz has G Money on his back. That was awesome. And then it looks like they've got Simon dead to rights. This was so funny. Like this, I was actually like close to belly laughing because the way it was executed was so perfect. You had Will Cruz go up for a splash, fall off the top rope, which looked genuine. I don't know if he's just amazing at like selling, but it looked genuine, and I was like, oh no, Will. But it looked genuine. It looked awesome. Then you have Session Moth and Gene arguing in the ring about who's going to pin him, who's going to pin Simon, who's going to become the PROTEUS champion, and Gene says, no, you can do it. Be the first female PROTEUS champion. And he walks to the corner as Session Moth goes to hit a move on Simon. Simon rolls up Session Moth and 1, 2, 3. And you can see Gene, he's got his back to this, but you can see him with his hand going 1, I can't do it in camera, 1, 2, 3. And he starts celebrating, and then as soon as Jerry announces that it is still PROTEUS champion, his face just drops. It was executed to perfection. This is one of the best finishes of the year. I thought it was so funny, so unbelievably awesome. It was a great way for Simon to retain, fuels whatever's going on with this band of misfits that is the G Money family. I'm just going to call them that, the G Money family. Yeah, Moth Dog. They're called Moth Dog. I don't know why I'm calling the G Money family. Yeah, this was awesome. This was awesome. Anything that Gene touches turns to comedic gold. Fantastic from top to bottom. Then we got potentially match of the night. This is so hard to call which one is my favourite. It's between this and the main event. But Ricky Knight Jr., I think, is incapable of having bad matches. The man cannot put on bad matches. And he's going up against Trent Seven, who has had one of my favourite matches of the year, which was against Mark Haskins at Burning Hearts Pro Wrestling. Trent versus Ricky had everything you could want out of pro wrestling. It had comedy at the beginning. It had a story coming into it that was told throughout the match of the veteran versus the young up-and-comer. And it was a simple story of them trying to outmatch each other, which then escalated into a show of awesome, crazy carnage. And I loved every second of it. It was incredible. From the opening moments when you have Trent and Ricky doing the shoulder blocks to each other, you have Trent slapping Ricky Knight and Ricky Knight no-selling it. You have this sort of back and forth between the two, which I thought was kept up really, really well. Then you have Ricky Knight just get on top and he just starts dominating Trent throughout. Like probably the first third of this match is mainly Ricky Knight Jr. just getting the best of Trent Seven. And then you have it played up. It's the IQ. It is the ring awareness of Trent Seven that allows him to get the upper hand, hitting the bop and bang, hitting his awesome emerald flosion from the top rope to Ricky Knight, which was a thing of beauty. You have Ricky Knight going for the 450 and then Trent getting the knees up. It was awesome. It was so well crafted. And going into that final stretch when you have just Ricky Knight Jr. going for a moonsault and getting slapped on the back with a spinning lariat, getting hit with a burning hammer and hit with a sit-out pile driver and then kicking out at 1, leapt out my chair because it was, I love a kick out at 1. If you've been watching me long enough, you know I love a kick out at 1. It's my favourite thing ever, and when it's done right, it is done. It just everything. It's just everything to me. A kick out at 1, and Ricky Knight Jr. kicking out at 1 from the pile driver. I was like, this is going to make a lot of people angry, but it's awesome. And then you have just him managing to hit the Rikishi driver, getting the 1, 2, 3. Ricky Knight Jr. beating Trent Seven. This was fucking fantastic. There's no other way to put it. It was fucking fantastic. And yeah, Trent and Ricky Knight both cut a promo after the match. You have Ricky Knight, who's definitely teasing he's going to be one of Luke Jacobs' future opponents. I can't wait to see that, because the main event of Super Strong Style was amazing when it was them two. And Trent Seven saying that he's going to be back in Progress. He's here to stay. Can't wait. Let's get some Trent Seven versus Axel Tischer. Let's get some Trent Seven versus Luke Jacobs. Let's get some Trent Seven versus Leon Slater. Let's get some Trent Seven all over the show, because this match was awesome. It was genuinely one of my favourite matches of the year. And yeah, go out of your way to see this one. Then we had the intermission, and then we come back and we have what is... It's hard... I'm not going to say this was like terrible. This wasn't bad in the slightest. This was really, really good. But I'd say this underwhelmed me a little bit, and I feel bad saying it because I've been really invested in this feud between Kanji and Nina Samuels. I just felt like the match itself didn't have the sort of ferocity and like the brutality that I think this feud has earned. This feud that's been going on for a long time. These two have been really, really great with each other. They've had really good angles. They've had really good match. They were in the ladder match, which was really, really awesome. They've been like connected very, very well. And they've built this match really, really well. I just feel like this match needed maybe not a step, but some sort of, I don't know, because you had the stuff with the handcuffs, whether you could have done like, I don't know, a strap match or a dog collar match or something like that. Something that really heightened the intensity of this match, because it started out with like headlocks and stuff like that. And I was a bit like, I feel like we need some more, kind of like the Lizzie Evo versus Rio match. Like that was one of my favourite matches of this year, the favourite that Progress have put on. And they'd earned that kind of brutality, and I feel like this had earned that kind of brutality, even if it's a 2 out of 3 falls match or something like that, clock strikes midnight match or something. I think this match could have been something like that, and instead it felt a little bit too standard wrestling match. I think the wrestling was terrific. It was awesome. Kanji's one of my favourites in Brit Wres right now. I think she's so good, and she should be women's champion wherever she goes. But yeah, this was just, it didn't fall flat. That's too harsh. I don't know how to say it. It just didn't live up to my expectations, unfortunately. And the shock, like, winner of it being Nina Samuels, who picks up the win after destroying the arm of Kanji, working over the arm throughout the entire match, I think was necessary because she's going to be a good challenger for Rio. But I did want to see Kanji win. I want to see Kanji Rio. That's what I want to see in like a one-on-one awesome who's the best wrestler match. So yeah, but while the match didn't necessarily live up to my hype, I think the post-match definitely did, and sort of carried over a lot of that heat and a lot of that animosity, because Nina Samuels just goes on a swearing rant about Kanji. She locks her arm in the turnbuckle pad and starts beating it down and starts destroying it, really going after the arm, and says that, yeah, this is over. I've set my sights on Rio. You have destroyed every opportunity that I've had at the Progress Women's Championship, and now I have finally earned my spot. So we're finally getting like Nina Samuels versus Rio. I think that'd be really, really good. I'm not sure what's next for Kanji. Maybe Lana Austin. We've just done that recently. I'm not sure what's next for Kanji. That's interesting. Interesting to see what's next. Maybe Sasha Moth? I'm not sure. We'll see. But overall, I would say the match was okay. to very good. The promo after it was really, really awesome. Then we got Lycos Jim versus Nico Angelo and Connor Mills. This was really, really good. I really liked this tag match. I'm not familiar with Nico Angelo, but my God, is that man a good professional wrestler. He's really, imposing. He's so imposing. He hits very hard, and he has one of the best finishes that I've seen ever, which is the split personality, where it's like a powerbomb into a one-winged angel. It looks incredible. But what I really liked about this match is this was introducing a new team of contenders, having them destroy a top level team and really establish them up there, because it was back and forth at the beginning. You had Lycos 2 making the hot tag, making the save. You had Lycos trying to get in there, but really Connor Mills and Nico Angelo isolated Lycos 2 enough that they were just able to tear apart that poor boy's leg, and they did. They got him caught up in the ring ropes. They had him pretty much dead to rights, just destroying the leg. And then when Lycos came in to try and make the save for Lycos 2, you had them just intercept. This was really good tag team psychology, and I really, really liked it. Then you have the finish, in which Nico Angelo gets Lycos on the outside, and Lycos 2 is isolated in the ring with Connor Mills, and he's just got a knee bar on him. He is just wrenching back on this knee bar. He picks Lycos 2 up and swings him round with the knee bar, sits out, leans back, cranks it back as Lycos watches, and Lycos 2 taps out. Awesome. This was a really, really awesome finish. I think it makes sense. It just works. It just absolutely works, because I've wanted to see Lycos have a really, really good story coming off his world title reign and saying, we're going to be the best tag team in the world. We want to face the best tag team in the world. That's a good story. But having them come up against a brick wall of a unit like Connor Mills and Nico Angelo, I think that just is more of a challenge. And I hope we get more matches between these two down the line, because I think this is a tasty feud. This is a very, very tasty feud. And I was really happy with this. This was an awesome tag team match. So something that I forgot to mention happened after the Kanji Nii and the Samuels thing. We had a video of an hourglass that said, time has a way of changing things. Now, I don't know if this was part of the tag team package that was on afterwards, whether this was something that people fully saw in the arena, in the ballroom, but I'm not sure what this is teasing. Maybe it's hourglass? See, my mind just always goes to Spike Trivet, because I just love to see Spike Trivet back in Progress. I'm not sure how that will change. There's lots of people. It could be Alexis Falcon, Charles Crowley. There's a lot of people who that could be, but teasing in an imminent return when we've got unboxing coming up. Very, very interesting to see who that will be. Then we got Subculture versus Sanity, just for who. Let's just see Sanity want to destroy Chuck Mambo, because that is the ultimate match that we will be getting. Yes, this was an awesome, awesome tag team match. This was really, really good. I really liked it. It had old school NXT vibes. You think of Worlds Collide. This could have been a match on NXT Worlds Collide. You could have had Sanity versus Webster and Andrews, NXT UK versus NXT. That could have been something that happened, but this was just really, really cool. This felt like just tag team wrestling. I like seeing tag team wrestling where everyone's working as a unit, because Subculture were working as a unit, Sanity were working as a really good unit. You had tag team moves all over the show, and yeah, this was sort of winding up Sanity and showing that Sanity were enraged. They are still angry at Chuck Mambo for costing them the tag team titles against Smoking Aces, and they are basically just taking out their frustrations on Subculture. You had some really cool spots in here. You had a really cool bit at the end where Mark Andrews does his knee slide, goes to pop up for a kick, and just gets clocked with the European uppercut from Axel Tischer. You had a really great hot tag from Flash Morgan Webster where he hits a huge rolling senton on the outside. But ultimately, it's Sanity. Oh, it's just popped into my mind. Best spot of maybe the night was when Damo goes to do the divide, his big running crossbody, and Andrews just leaps over the top of it to make a hot tag. That is probably the best spot of the entire night. I absolutely love that to pieces. But yeah, Sanity picked up the win, because as much as I love Subculture, of course Sanity picked up the win, because they are going to destroy Sunshine Machine at some point. That is coming. Chuck Mambo will face his demons, and it looks like it could be coming sooner rather than later. They hit the Blitz on Flash Morgan Webster for the win. Makes sense. Completely makes sense. This was a really, really fun tag match. Like, yeah, awesome stuff. And then we got the main event. Leon Slater taking on Luke Jacobs for the Progress World Championship. I loved this match so much. Like, you had the tag team match at the Manchester show, Stay Young and Invincible. God, I was blanking out. It's been a long day. I've been at work today. You had that match. Then you have this match. They're very different. You have, that one's just all carnage. The Manchester one was all carnage, and I loved every single second of it. This one, I thought, was filled with psychology, filled with character, filled with just really good character-based wrestling. So story and character mixed together. Because the main story of this match was that Luke, his confidence was shook. He took that pin in Manchester. He's rattled. Leon Slater has him rattled. And at the beginning, when the fans are chanting at Luke, and you can just see it sort of getting under his skin, he's becoming more agitated. And throughout the opening sequence, you can see Luke kind of be off his game. Leon sort of has him. He's getting under his skin. It isn't until he reverses a handspring from Leon and hits a German suplex that he does sort of almost like the Brock Lesnar jump. He comes into his own. He's a bit more focused. And then leading that through the match where he is more focused, he's targeting the back of Leon Slater and just destroying his back. He's getting that confidence back. And I really loved how that was portrayed in this match. I think both guys did such a tremendous job with their facial expressions, with their selling, to really put over the sort of, not just the stakes, but the physical war of this match. Leon Slater's selling, when he was getting hit with stuff, like, I know that Darby Allin gets praise for like ragdolling and stuff like that. He's really, really good at it. But Leon Slater's like jelly legs and jelly arms when he's like flopping down because he's just been destroyed. His back is in pieces. It was incredible, like absolutely incredible. And just the total devastation of Leon Slater's back when Luke hits a powerbomb on the apron. And I don't mean like a Kevin Owens powerbomb where he stands at ringside and powerbombs him onto the apron. This is standing on the apron, a powerbomb on the apron. It was gnarly. It was absolutely just gnarly. Shook me to my core to see that. And I really loved, shout out to commentary as well, because they did an awesome job on this match. Like telling you the character beats, telling you about the back, telling you about the moves that they can and can't do. Like, they just 110% for commentary. Then you have sort of the middle portion of the match where you have some of the hope spots from Leon. You have some more, he's fighting back, he's really fighting back, and you have Ethan Allen run down. He gets chased off by DeReese, which looks like it's going to give Leon the advantage. And you build to insane sequences, just insane kicks, insane leg lariats. The leg lariat that Leon Slater does to counter a clothesline from Luke is insane. Then you have a spot where Leon goes to do a leg lariat and Luke just runs straight through it. That was amazing as well. And he built to a teased pile driver off the second rope, but gets reversed into a sort of spinning suplex. That sort of gives Leon the advantage. And then Luke just cannot put away Leon. He just can't do it. And he hits everything under the sun to put him away. A stalling suplex, an insane lariat. He hits everything. And with each kick out, you can see his confidence is shattering. It is going away piece by piece. And I loved that story beat. I loved that it was just every kick out that Leon did was a chink in the armour for Luke Jacobs, and he almost had him dead to rights. Then you have the closing sequence where it looks like Luke has the win. He looks like he's got him completely beaten. 1, 2, in a mirroring of the match that happened with Dries and Luke, Dries pulls out the ref, just like Ethan Allen did to him. And Luke is shaken. He is absolutely shaken. He is fuming. He goes outside the ring, goes after Dries. Leon Slater dives, hits a huge dive over the turnbuckle to clock him. Then it looks like he's going to go for his swanton. He goes for his swanton, his 450 swanton, hits it. 1, 2, Luke rolls him back into a crucifix. 1, 2, 3. What a finish. What a match. This was incredible. I've not even talked about like the near fall off the championship belt. That was amazing as well. There is just so much packed into here. Awesome finish. Leaves room open for more. When these two do it again, my God, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. It capped off the show and it was fantastic. It was an absolutely fantastic show. A fantastic show. 2 of my favourite matches of the year. Maybe one of them will almost definitely be in my top 10 favourite matches of the year. Haven't decided which one yet. But I thought this show was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And you should go out of your way to check this out. It is not the final Progress show of the year. We've still got unboxing. But if you want to sort of get a glimpse of what Progress is about, this might be like the perfect show to watch because it has high octane action, it has insane storytelling, it has comedy, it has everything. Like, this is one of the best shows of the year. And I'm not just saying that because I'm high of adrenaline because I just finished watching it. It was, one of my favourite Progress shows of the year. And 4.5 out of 5 I'm going to give this show. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below and I'll try and apply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support and have a nice day.